Hi to you all. My name is Immaculate Nabwire, and in preparation for this week's discussion, I met with the managing director of the organization that I work with. His experience of change was a 5 year sustainability strategy that is still ongoing, and this involves cutting costs and reduction of dependence on donor funding that will soon be abolished. The old model, which he finds very costly, requires employees to reach out to rural communities and establish contacts so that the organization can be in position to offer clean water to these communities. And the company will go ahead to contract a local technician within the area who would carry out routine checks to avoid breakdowns of the water sources. 85% of these costs are funded by donations, and 15% are funded by the support from the community. And according to him, the desired change would reduce the cost of donor funding and the company would soon have the capacity to operate with only the support of the community. The director began his strategy by consulting with some of the employees within his company. Then he consulted with government workers, especially those who worked with Ministry of Water, and then the locals of the different communities he was already engaged in. When he got enough information that gave him a go ahead to proceed with the implementation, he began to preach the new strategy to his staff. This meant that the company would partner with government, and through the government it would increase its advocacy of our services to the community. This this meant that every time government officials were working within those communities, they would talk about the kind of services that we would offer. Therefore, this creation of demand for our services would lead the communities to reach out to us instead of us reaching out to them. So, this would save on the cost of transport of our employees to different communities, and instead, it will be the community members to reach out. In addition, the government would also offer some support like hardware materials, especially pipes. In the process of creating this change and cutting costs, certain positions were eliminated and others were created. For instance, they had to hire a government advisor that was a contact person between my organization and the government. The office also, certain offices had to be merged into one. We now had regional offices instead of sub county offices. It has been 3 years since the change began, and according to my director, he exactly knew the kind of change he wanted, and he had his goals all laid down. However, making this change happen has always been very hard, and it's still difficult. He lost some of his great employees after introducing the new model. People were always afraid and they found every excuse to run away from this kind of transformation. And then he also got certain challenges, and some of them is a slow implementation of the government. The government has a tendency of promising and promising, but one never knows when they're about to act. Then there was also a challenge of other NGO intervention within the community offering the same service. So it kind of tends to be some kind of competition. Yet this should be a benefit of the community, not for any other company. Having said that, he is still very hopeful about the kind of vision that he has. He carries out continuous research and tries to address all the gaps that are identified as soon as he could. One of the quotes that I got very interesting in this week's material says that one dilemma is that the costs of changes are real, and they include adding people, removing people, shifting product lines, but we never know the benefits of change because they remain uncertain. Thank you very much for watching.